Welcome back to Disney, Oklahoma. They've just gotten done with the National Rock Racing Association action just down the creek bed from where I'm sitting here. And as you can see, it was a wild afternoon into the evening down there as these guys and gals tried to make their way up this amazing wall of rock. Some of them not that successful, tumbling back down into the water below. Others scampering up this amazing ridge all the way to the very top, up and over the peak. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Ralph Shaheen. It's nighttime here in Oklahoma, here in the Sooner State. Temperatures have definitely gone down. The action, however, was very, very hot down the creek, but just to my right down here is where they have an area called Viagra, and that's where they were going up and down over there over this, as you just saw, amazing rock wall. We're going to have some of our guests here in a little bit talking about the action down there and exactly what was taking place. So now we want to make sure we introduce you to our other crew that's here from our Speed Sports staff covering all the racing action here at Disney, Oklahoma, Erica Allred and Dave Arnold.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. We're down here in the quarries trying to find our way, but it's a little bit dark and a little bit treacherous. Dave, how's it going down there for you?
Well, thanks, Erica. You know, being a veteran off-road reporter, you learn to work a little smarter, not harder. That's why I sent you out to get dirty and get lost. Well, I'm hanging out here in the main compound, watching the Jumbotron, watching how everything unfolds to find out who's going to be our NRRA champion tonight. Oh, look at this. My pizza just ordered is here. Erica, we'll see you back over. We'll have a good time. Wish you were here.
Thanks, gang, and no surprise Dave would find a pizza out here in the middle of nowhere at Legends of the Fall. This is the inaugural running of this event, and as you can imagine, rock racing isn't the only thing that's taking place here in Disney, Oklahoma. There's a wide variety of categories, and Dave's here to explain it.
One of the classes we have out here is the 4900, which is the UTV class. This one, for example, is a stock turbo. You see it has the stock shocks on it, a little bit larger stock tires on it. It also has 2 seats, but it has all the safety equipment that all the other vehicles have, window nets, the harnesses, and all that. Now, this is forced injection or turbo. They actually have a naturally aspirated, and then there is a modified turbo. So there's a lot of different classes. You'll be seeing the UTVs coming out here. And when it comes to the open modified classes, it's anything goes. Now, one of the classes here is the 4800 Legends class. Now, the distinction on this is it has a front-mounted motor, has a live front axle, and only 1 shock per corner, but it also has 2 seats. So that's a big distinction out here. The car behind me is a 4500. Now, that's the modified class, meaning modified, it's going to be an OEM style chassis or a modified OEM chassis. You can run a max of 37-inch DOT tires, that's Department of Transportation. It's your street tires, what you could buy to put on your average daily driver. You can run a 2 to 2.5-inch shock, so there's a little bit of modification. These things are bad to the bone and definitely a fun way to come race at Ultra 4. Well, I'm standing in front of one of the 4600 that's Von Gittin Jr. and Lauren Healy drive. Well, this is a stock class, stock motor, 2.5 shocks on there, limited to 35-inch tires. Now, this stock class really tells folks what an OEM vehicle can go out and do on these courses out here. So this is a good one to watch out here and a great way to get into Ultra 4 racing. Well, we got to see what the 4600 stock class looks like. Well, now it's on to the bad boys. It is the unlimited Ultra 4400, the Ultra 4 class here. It's anything goes. Open your wallet class is what I like to call this. It has modified everything. Where the other one had to retain an OEM chassis, well, this is a custom tube chassis that's built. Horsepower exceeding 800 horsepower there. They are not limited to tire size. They can run the shocks they want to do, and they bring it. If you want excitement, it's all about the 4400s for these guys. It's the money class.
All right, Dave, thanks. And we're going to have all the coverage from Legends of the Fall for you all weekend long right here. So make sure you stay tuned in with us each day over the course of the weekend, Friday and Saturday, as we bring all that action to you. You get to see all those categories in competition live from right here at Legends of the Fall, the inaugural running here in Disney, Oklahoma. Now, I got to tell you, racing in general, as we all know, is extremely dangerous and very wild. What I saw today with the National Rock Racing Association might be one of the most extreme forms of motorsports I've seen in a long time. which makes you wonder just how safe is it really to do that, to try to scale those walls like they were doing. They're made solid rock. And you saw when they don't make it all the way up, well, what naturally happens? You come tumbling back down. Well, our Erica Allred had the same thought, and she went and found out for us. Here's how they do it.
When you have 1,000 horsepower under you and are navigating difficult terrain, safety is paramount and at the forefront, especially for our NRRA Rock Bouncer drivers. With me is Wade Good, driver of Misfit. Now, Wade, there are a lot of safety measures in place to ensure your safety out on course. Can you talk us through some of those?
Yeah, first thing, you gotta have a minimum of a 2-layer fire suit. You gotta have a Hans device, which my favorite's a Simpson hybrid. Keeps you from breaking your neck in a bad crash. You have to have fire gloves, fire shoes, a full face helmet with a face shield. If you come over in the cab, you got to have a window net or wrist restraints for if a bad crash, your arms can't fly out of the vehicle. You got to have at least 2 fire extinguishers, one inside, one out. Something a lot of people don't know we have is a RII box. It can be shut off electronically at any time in a dangerous situation. And as the sport progresses, so does our safety. Next year, 2023, it's going to be mandatory for all drivers to have a fire suppression system in their vehicle.
A lot of critical safety measures to ensure all of our guys are safe out on course for the inaugural Legends of the Fall here in Disney.
Thank you, Erica. Obviously, the safety technology is just one part of what makes rock racing, or rock bouncing as they call it these days, such an incredible form of motorsport. There's also the technology that just gets them up the hill. We're going to find out a lot more of that when we come back here to Disney, because we're going to have some of the racers who competed today joining me here on the set. Stay with us. Okay, who's our first guest? Well, hi, everybody. Welcome back to Disney, Oklahoma. Ralph Shaheen here with you, and I got a couple of guests who've joined me up on the set. Now, this is Matthew Holt, who does a lot of commentary for the National Rock River Racing Association. Yep. We'll be talking about that. And he also competes in the series. And, of course, our old buddy Dave Arnold back with us again, who does a little bit of everything around here. Matthew, you work with Bree, who we had up here earlier today on the air. covering the action.
Yeah.
But then you also compete, which you did today as well. Tell us how your day went first.
Day went pretty well. Again, this is a little different. Normally we have one course in the morning. We take a couple-hour intermission. We have one course in the afternoon. This we had to cram a lot of, because we have Ultra 4 finals and our finals. We had to cram a lot of courses in, so we pretty much ran courses back-to-back. Went out there, banged on the buggy pretty hard. Again, some guys broke. Luckily, I was able to keep the buggy together today, get some points on the board, which is super important for the championship chase. Again, we still have 2 more days of racing. We race all day Friday, all day Saturday, again, with Ultra 4 guys hopping in there. So we're excited about that. Buggy went well. I got some buddies. We put the transmission on Tuesday, so got the transmission back together Tuesday, finished putting everything together Wednesday morning, came out here, did a little pre-running, checked the course out, got over the production stuff set up with Clyde and his crew. So it's been a very interesting morning. I would say probably similar to you guys, are team no sleep,
Yeah.
So
listen, I don't know what they told you about coming up here and doing this with Dave and I. I understand the fire suit because it's a little chilly.
Yeah.
Keeps you warm. Not so sure you needed the Hans device to come hang
well,
out with us.
shove him around.
They said Dave was pretty rough, so I was almost brought the helmet.
I get it. Okay. All right, so we've been explaining to our viewers at home. Bree did a great job of it earlier, kind of educating. I know we have a lot of folks that watch this stuff on a regular basis. They know, they understand everything about it.
Yes.
But there are quite a few that are watching maybe for the first time through our Speed Sport channels that don't know but are intrigued by this. Rock racing, rock bouncing.
Yes.
Give us your perspective of what makes rock racing, rock bouncing so exciting as a driver, why you would tackle this form of off-road racing as opposed to something else you could do out here, because they've got everything here.
They do. I can't dog my Ultra 4 guys because they're pretty awesome. I like them a lot. And our races are very similar in form. With Ultra 4, it's more like a marathon, or like the Baja 1000. Again, that's like an ultra marathon.
Yep.
Ours is more of a sprint. We're the 100-yard dash guys. It's exciting to watch.
With some hurdles thrown in the middle.
Yeah. Again, very violent, lots of crashes. It's very cool. You can sit in one seat and watch it all. So it's a very spectator-friendly sport. Again, our rules in the National Rock Racing Association are, we have a lot of safety rules as far as chassis build or buggy build. We have one rule: you have to be at least a 39.5-inch tire. That's the only rule for building a buggy like you see behind you. Any motor, any transmission, any transfer case, any axles, any drive shafts, any chassis design, there's no minimum or maximum weight. So you can kind of do whatever you want. And we encourage people to think outside the box and come on out. We'll see how it fares.
It's a creative bunch
It
down
is.
there. There's no doubt about it. So how sketchy is it when you're going up the wall and you reach that tipping point, right? You're right there and you're thinking, I almost got it, and then all of a sudden the tumble backwards begins.
Well, I've been.
It's a long way down.
It is. I've been that riding wheelie guy and land at the top, and the crowd cheers. And I've been the guy that climbs out of the buggy after it tumbles down, and the crowd cheers. Both are a good feeling, but making it up the top, getting some points, and saving the car definitely help you. It is kind of rough. Luckily, we have a lot of safety gear, which I know you guys talked a little about earlier today. Full containment seat, Hans device, harness. We have head, neck restraint systems, fire suppression systems. You're kind of wrapped in. I'm usually more sore from the 16-hour drive to a race than I am from a rollover at a course.
Really?
Oh, yeah, by far. Because, again, we're like a baby. You can't really move. Everything's so tight, shoulders, head, neck. And you can't really move other than your arms, maybe. Again, we run wrist restraints or a window net, your choice. So you really can't. There's not really anything that's going to get hurt again, hopefully. So we are very, very safety organized. You get done, obviously, you hate to tear the buggy up, but it is, again, a super gnarly sport. It's kind of like ultimate fighting. And, again, it was kind of, I would compare rock crawling. It's very technical. It's a point-based system. There's cones. There's gates. It's more like chess. Ours is more like we knock the chessboard out and we fight. It's just nonstop. Again, we've had courses where the fastest time is 12 seconds. You have zero time for error in a 12-second run, where an Ultra 4 race like King of Hammers, where they run for 14 hours, you can make a little error here or there, take a little longer, change a tire, and be able to make that up and still put points on the board.
I think the one thing that comes to mind that I could best describe it as, for those that maybe know, if you're a two-wheel fan like I am as well, is hill climb.
Yes.
Hill climbing and motorcycle competition is similar, but even to hill climbing, this seems way more extreme because the slope of the hill is so much more intense.
A lot of big ledges. Again, we kind of started out in the base of Kentucky, Tennessee. That's why we used to call it the Southern Rock Racing Series. It was more what they called hill killing, meaning it was just the gnarliest thing you've ever seen, and you either make it or you break it. There was no kind of racing or skill, and there was some racing and skill to it, but it was so gnarly. Everybody either you watered up the car or you made it. We've kind of got away from that bounty series, killing hills type thing. We've kind of moved on to more of a race. A lot of our courses are more dirt or woods. We have some jumps. We have some double jumps, some flat. We have uphill, downhill rounds. So it's a little bit more of a 2-3 minute course race time, kind of get away from the 12-second runs. That way, if you do make a little mistake here, and it kind of makes, if you have uphill, downhill, corners, jumps.
What you had today.
Yes, yeah, we had something very similar to that today. If you have all that together in one big long course, your fastest, best racer shows out. Where a guy, if you just have one big hill, the guy who climbs hills best wins. If you have uphill and downhill, the guy who usually goes downhill wins, or real corners. So having that complete course, that complete package, really lets the best racer shine, which, again, we saw Tim Cameron come out very well today. I'm sure tomorrow he's one of the few guys that has climbed Nasty Girl. So
which is behind us.
Yes, which is, you guys can't see it now because it's getting a little dark, but it is the nastiest hill you've ever seen.
And you're tackling that tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Saturday?
Tomorrow we'll be doing some more rock courses. Saturday, that is after all the Ultra 4 racing, that will be what we end the weekend with right before our big annual banquet.
So that's pin it or bin it come Saturday.
I tell people, when you're sitting there in the court, when you're sitting in the buggy and you're strapped in ready to go, and they tell you course clear, you look at that, you can kind of know, like, me and my buggy can make this or we can't. You know when you take off. Like, it's a no-hold bars, all adrenaline, and the worst part was, not only is it a long, steep hill that gets steeper at the top, it's really loose at the top. So just because you have a lot of horsepower doesn't necessarily, you need a lot of momentum, you need a little driver skill. Yeah.
So this is, if put it in skiing terminology, double black diamond.
And then some. And then some.
Yes.
Yeah.
Experts only.
Yeah, it's expert. And even those guys will still maybe come tumbling down.
It's gun barrel at Heavenly Valley.
It really is. It's going to be a lot of time. It's going to be, again, the last thing that kind of caps off the weekend, literally right behind us where the stage is at. So it's going to be very spectator friendly. And it's a lot of, again, you have a long course. They either make it or they break it, kind of.
So, Dave, this brings me back to when I was a little kid, and I'm talking about like 6-7 years old. Everybody had this in their neighborhood. We had what we called big hills.
Yes.
And I've been by big hills since then, and it's not even a mound, right? And there's a house mounted on top of it now. But we used to ride our old Schwinn's down old Big Hill, and boy, that was gutsy, right, to do that. And if you made it down, you were king of the neighborhood for the day, right?
Yeah.
So I sit there and I wonder, how do you begin this process? If you're sitting at home watching this right now and you're thinking, that doesn't look that tough, I can go do this thing. So do I go find Big Hill in my local neighborhood and, break out the Jeep Cherokee and go for a run? Or how do I start?
I love that question because I was kind of that same thing. Almost a decade ago, I was like, man, that'd be really cool. I'd love to do that. I own an off-road shop, so I love to build. We wanted to look at building a chassis and doing some stuff, whether a mega truck or an Ultra 4 or rock bouncing. And a guy came along, a buddy of mine, me and him, my brother, put a team together because we couldn't afford at that time to do it, just go out and do it by ourselves. So me and him, we put a team together. You could still do team racing. We still have some team stuff at that point, so you can kind of co-drive a little bit, not necessarily with two people, but you can each pick some races, and it worked out really nice. For that first season, we, again, bought a car very inexpensive, took turns racing, a great way to get in the sport, again, very, very inexpensive, and you come out and do it. And I would tell people, unfortunately, just jump in the deep end. Come on out to a race. When I first started racing, Clyde used to pick on him, like, God, these hills are really hard. He's like, I know, Matt, you got to just be better. And I'm like, man, and now I go back and look at hills that we used to like. We had one at Hawk Pride down in Alabama. The return course coming down was the hill we used to climb that was really hard. So it's kind of funny to be like how fast our sport has evolved in a decade. And again, Ultra 4 cars, same way. You've seen those guys evolve, from these old kind of just buggies, the guys with Toyota rigs went out and had a good time. And now they're like, Lauren Healy, we've seen his car. Just, that thing is like a monster truck, just a smaller version. I still
haven't gotten the vision of Healy sending it at hammers out of my head
off
yet.
the cliffs.
That was just insane.
Qualifying, he did it. Yes. It kind of broke the internet. The next day I was scrolling through Instagram, and every page was just people sharing that jump. So it is.
Well, Matt, you talked about the UTVs, and it's part of it now. Is that a great way to get into it? Because, it's one of the most popular off-roading out there is getting a UTV.
It is.
And now you can go to Ultra 4 as your class, and the rock bouncing has it, right?
And again, we have a couple different classes, so I always like to joke, and I have a bunch of buddies who are very good friends of mine, Dan Carter, again, Paul Wolf, a couple guys that race UTVs, and I like to pick on them. I say, well, I have a 650 credit score, too, so I can race a UTV. And I like to hate on them as much as I can, but it's so true. Not everybody can afford a $200,000 rock bouncer and a big production trailer and a big enclosed trailer and all the tools and parts that go with it. But you can start out small. We have guys running 8-900s a few years ago. You can go buy a 900 used from a buddy. Put a decent set of tires on there, do some very simple mods, come out and have a great time, and be fairly competitive. We have a guy right now running a 4-seater stock side-by-side and is in the points thing. I think he's top 3 right now. Bigger tires, has 4-seater in our stock class, and is in the top 3, top 5.
Rock bouncing on a budget.
Yeah, totally. And it's great.
Speaking of stock, I saw some video earlier today. I wasn't down there when it happened. Did I actually see a guy in a Grand Cherokee missing the grill, which didn't shock me at all, to make his way down the course?
Yes. So we have a VIN class, which is like a 4600 for Ultra 4 people. It's basically just a stock vehicle class. Now, there are some mods you can do. You can do up to a 38-inch tire. You can do some similar. Again, the rules are very similar to a 4600 class. Cherokees, I tell a lot of people come to me at my off-road shop, go, I want to get into off-road stuff. This off-road stuff I've seen on YouTube, it looks cool. How do I get into that? I tell everybody. They're like, I want to go buy a Jeep JK, like all my friends have. And I'm like, don't spend $60,000. Go buy a $300 or $500 Jeep Cherokee. Take it out. You can have a blast. And we have a local off-road park called Badlands in Indiana. Ultra 4 has raced there before. And I'll tell them, hey, listen, go buy a $300 Cherokee and trash it on a Saturday. Go out to an off-road park. At the end of the day, you're going to go, that was the greatest time of my life.
If you leave it out there for $300, it's still worth it.
Yeah, you're either going to have the greatest day of your life, or you're going to be like, this stinks. I never want to do this again. I hate this. And you're only out $300.
You just walk away from it. Just leave it.
Yeah, and the good news is a Cherokee is still worth $300 even after the end of the day. So
that was amazing. Well, listen, Matthew, thanks for coming by. We appreciate it. We're going to watch you out here the rest of the weekend. That's only a single-seater you got?
I have a dual-seater, but we're only allowed to race with one person in the car.
Oh, shoot. We could have gone for a ride.
I was going to offer up co-drive.
We can put you guys in one if you really want to.
I would give it a try at some point.
I'm up for it.
But I got a couple of shows yet to do this. We got a lot more coming your way from here at Disney, so just stay with us. We got more rock bouncing to talk about right after this from Disney, Oklahoma.
See you guys.
Eliminate burnt plug wires forever with Excel Ceramic Spark Plug Wires. High-temperature double silicone construction makes them ideal for turbocharged and supercharged engines or any car with headers. Find a set for your application today at excel-ignition.com.
Affordable EFI is in sight now with Sniper EFI from Holley. Easy to install, self-tunes, and replaces most 4-barrel carbs. Forget cold start issues, hesitations, vapor lock, and flooding. Get big performance starting at just $999.95. Sniper EFI.
Presenting the all-new designs from Treadwear Apparel in 2021. Visions are better at the top. More throttle than brake, more balls than brains. If you're gonna win, you're gonna need these. Life is better topless. The NRRA official flag shirts. Real trucks don't have spark plugs. No guts, no glory. Definitely no story. Your girlfriend likes it when I bounce her. Grab yourself some new merch today.
Welcome back to nighttime here in Disney, Oklahoma, the Sooner State. Tonight is home to Legends of the Fall, an amazing off-road event. We're happy to be here to be bringing it all to you. Speed Sport live from here in Disney. We're talking about rock racing and rock bouncing. And joining me on the set to do so is my good buddy Dave Arnold is here. And we also want to welcome in Justin Wheels, who competed in today's event.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Justin, how did it go for you this afternoon?
Well, the first hill was pretty good. we're sitting in 5th in the points for the season, so we're out here just to try and complete it and keep our position. So we come into it a little bit conservative. Wanted to do a nice clean pass and put it down. And first hill went pretty smooth. And like I said, we finished out with a 3rd place on the first hill. Everything went good. We went up to the 2nd hill, and it's a little bit different. It was a straight-up rock wall, I'm thinking like 7,500 foot tall. And with the water being at the base of it, you got a little squirrely, a little fishy, and it didn't turn out so well. We rolled back down it. Luckily, we landed on our tires, but was able to drive away. But I think we're sitting around 4th for the day.
If you had to rate the challenge of the hills that they have here in Disney, how would you rate them out of 10? Are these 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, 12s? Where are they?
They definitely around an 8 to a 9. Being rock, you got advantages and disadvantages. I'm from North Carolina. We got a lot of dirt. We don't got much rock. So, I mean, there's a bunch of nasty dirt hills down where we race. But here in Disney, I mean, it's a totally different ball game. You got to come in with the right tire set up because just the difference of rock versus dirt is crazy.
Well, one of the things we've noticed here is you don't see a lot of water right before a rock face. Here, you got a slippery hill. Let me put it this way. A slippery, straight-up rock face that you got to go up.
Yeah.
Now, we were watching guys going sideways, coming back down, sliding, rolling back out there. 2 guys finished?
Yep, it was only 2, and well, you got the season champion pretty much. Tim Cameron finished the hill, and then you had Jay Storts, and Jay Storts sitting right behind me in 6th place for the season. And it was just, for me, it was just outstanding because we're a family pretty much in our sport. And it was just outstanding for me to watch him hit that hill and knock it out like he done. I was very excited.
Now, we got some footage here of one of your fellow competitors who's a buddy of yours, I guess, who almost got disqualified, and you went out and kind of helped him keep from being disqualified. Can you talk us through this? You can see it on the screen here.
Some either going on the right side of the rock or going around the rock.
Yeah, so one of the rules, you can't touch a buggy. Once you come up and you touch somebody's buggy, their run is done. They're done. Well, Timmy hit that hill and it got excited, went down and come back around and went through the finish line, but he didn't complete the actual course. There's a humongous boulder, rock, whatever you want to call it, huge thing sitting out in the middle of the rocks, and you were supposed to go around it. Well, he didn't. And when I heard it on the radio, I happened to be standing beside the announcer, and they're like, he didn't go around the rock. So they was getting ready to DNF him. But I went out there, ran out there, and I'm like, you got to go back. You got to go back. You got to go around the thing. And he literally was blowing me off, thinking I was congratulating him, messing with him about climbing the hill. And he was like, and he was about not to do it. And if he didn't complete it, he would have got a
You got to touch home plate, Dave.
Yeah, you got
to touch home plate.
And you can't miss second.
That's
what it is.
It's like you got to finish the course.
That's
right.
what I'm yelling. I'm like, go around, go. You got to do it. And he's like, I was like, buddy, you better go.
So when you have to, coming up this weekend, Nasty Girl right behind us over here is looming on the horizon, if you will. How do you prepare mentally, knowing you've got to tackle something as hairy as that?
Well, I've got 2 ways. Well, I should say that. I've not even seen the hill yet. I've seen videos where they was playing on it back in the spring or whatnot, and so I've not really. It's not settled into me yet. Because once again, we've got 4 hills we got to race this week. I've done one. I've rolled on one. So now, when I'm saying Jay Storts was right there behind me, well. Now the points with me rolling on that second hill and him, he actually finished it.
You helped him.
Yeah, we're sitting here like there's no mistake now.
Yeah.
So not only do I have to complete and do good on the third hill that we race tomorrow around the stair steps, then I got to come out and we got to face Nasty Girl. So, there's a lot to it. I'm going to take tomorrow, and we're going to get through tomorrow, and then we'll worry about Nasty Girl. We'll worry about Nasty Girl when we get to it, because it's up there.
Well, you talk about sportsmanship and your family, but when you're that close in points, he's sitting right behind you. He finishes, you don't. What do you go through your mind? Why did I help him? But you know what? You helped a buddy out, so it's got to be a good feeling. But now you got to charge twice as hard. Nasty Girl might have to conquer her.
Yep. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We're real tight. I mean, as soon as we get done here, that's where we're going. We're going over there. We all get together after the races. We all cook out, eat, and all that good stuff. So, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm proud of him. I'm shooting my best to beat him the next two hills. It is what it is, and then we'll see. If he beats me, I'd rather him beat me on the hill with clean passes than him break or me break or something like that. You'd rather beat him on the hill.
And we're going to have the coverage of the whole day from here again tomorrow on our Speed Sport channels. When do you guys run tomorrow, so those that are watching know when to tune in?
We're running bright and early. I think our driver meeting's at 7, and we're coming off the line at 8.
That's Central Time.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Our coverage is going to begin at 7 a.m. here, Central Time, which would be 9 o'clock Eastern, right?
Yep, that's right.
8 o'clock Eastern. 8 o'clock Eastern. And then we'll be with Live From at 11, which will be noon Eastern. So we'll have the whole day covered for you again. Well, thank you very much for coming by, and best of luck to you tomorrow as you get ready to work your way towards battling old Nasty Girl come Saturday.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
That.
It's going to be awesome, I tell you.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Justin, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Dave, another day in the books here at Disney, and we get ready for another big one tomorrow.
Well, this week so far this week hasn't disappointed. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see them run Nasty Girl, so it's going to be great.
It's going to be great. For Dave Arnold, Erica Allred, I'm Ralph Sheen. Thanks for joining us here on day one from Disney, Oklahoma, and Legends of the Fall.